Hello everyone! Welcome to last part of the long hugs challenge for Polyships, and we are finishing with style and with SemiShiraKawaGata, obviously, my beloveds. So let's get into it, shall we? As always, special thanks to my lovely patrons and all of you who subscribe and watch these videos. You're keeping this channel alive and going. Thank you very much, and I hope you will enjoy. While Hayato usually wasn't the one to praise himself for things he had done, he patted himself on the back for coming up with the challenge. Simple, sweet, and perhaps even helpful, while the danger of something going wrong was practically zero. What else could one want? All it took was to catch his beloveds in a moment of peace, which shouldn't be a problem. Well, maybe except for Shirabu, but that was a problem for his future self. Right now, he was waiting for Semi to come home to start things off since Taichi was taking a much-needed nap before going to work. He would gladly join him like he usually did, but for some reason, he felt like that day it was better to leave Taichi to sleep at peace. He seems so out of it lately. I hope nothing's happening. His line of thought was torn when a pair of arms sneaked around his shoulders, the tickling of soft hair on his neck and the soft hum by his ear immediately chasing away all gloom from his mind. Grinning, he reached up to pet Semi's head, earning a very offended, very fake huff. "Stop! You'll ruin the styling!" "What styling? You didn't change anything today as far as I know." Semi grumbled and leaned a bit more over the back of the couch so that Hayato could see his hair. "Do you know how difficult it is to get this fluffy effect, you hair gel abuser?" Hayato snorted a short laugh at that nickname, immediately raking his fingers through Semi's hair a few times, just to mess with him. "I don't. Enlighten me." "You... fine, be like this. I don't have to talk to you, you know." Yeah, as if you could last more than an hour without yapping." "I didn't say I won't talk at all, just not with you. I still have Kenji and Taichi here, remember?" "Oh yeah, and then Tai is going to freak out because he'll think we argued." Semi paused, begrudgingly humming in answer, and Hayato added a point to his mental score. It felt like cheating using Taichi as a weapon, but it wasn't like he was lying. Perhaps he wouldn't freak out, but he would definitely get distressed. All three of them knew that. And neither of them wanted to hurt their boyfriend with stupid arguments. Hence why Semi just smacked his shoulder and had the pout disappear from his face, much to Hayato's amusement. Before Semi could leave, he grabbed his hand and gently tugged him back, a soft smile curling his lips. "Come here." What for?" "You'll see." Raising his eyebrow, Semi measured him with a dubious look before he gave in and settled next to Hayato, who didn't waste a single second and squeezed him in a firm embrace. Semi chuckled, the subtle tension disappearing from his shoulders as he returned the hug, relaxing into Hayato's arms completely. "So you wouldn't say I don't love you?" "I would never say that." "Oh yeah? I heard you before." "Oh, because we didn't get you any snacks in the store. You're like a cat when it doesn't get treats." "I embrace that, you know." Hayato clicked his tongue, but he was far from being upset over his remarks not having the desired effect. After all, it was because they knew and loved each other so much they could squabble like this, and he would never stop being grateful for it. If only Taichi's family wasn't as shitty as it was. Perhaps then they could indulge in loving jabs with him too. Perhaps one day. "Do you think Kenji would kill me if I brought a cat home?" Surprised by the sudden change of subject, Hayato glanced up, leaning his chin against Semi's shoulder to look at him comfortably. Probably. And then he would end up being the only one the kid would love, bet. Why? Are you planning something? He wiggled his eyebrows, earning a punch to his shoulder. No, not really. Just an idea since we were talking about cats. I think he would come around. Probably too late to save you, but still. Though, with our luck, it might turn out Tai is allergic or something. I am, actually. They both turned around, finding Taichi standing a bit awkwardly in the doorway to their bedroom, still somewhat crumbled from sleep, but apparently awake enough to feel guilty. Semi's soft chuckle interrupted the silence. Well, there goes the idea. I'll live another day, it seems. It was a joke, yet watching Taichi recoil, Hayato knew a potential disaster was brewing. I'm sorry. Oh, no, don't apologize. It's not your fault. It was just a thought anyway, really. Seeing even that reassurance wasn't going to help, Hayato reluctantly let go of Semi and reached his arms to Taichi. Come here. Taichi visibly hesitated, and then shook his head, stepping back. I need to get ready for work. Sorry. With that, he disappeared back into the bedroom and closed the door behind him, leaving the flat in silence once again. Sighing, Hayato turned to Semi, sharing a knowing and very much worried look. Time for damage control, huh? Leave that to me. You go rest, okay? I'll take care of him. It will be fine. At least he hoped so. Unfortunately for Hayato, Taichi managed to slip past him that evening before he managed to do anything about the situation, leaving him even more worried than before. I hope we didn't make it worse somehow. He clearly wasn't doing well already. What if he spirals again? It wouldn't be the first time. Sighing, he tucked the thoughts on Taichi into the back of his mind for now, promising himself to not rest until he got to the bottom of this, and headed to the kitchen to get himself something to eat before they started with dinner preparation. Waiting with a filled stomach always went better. To his surprise, he didn't even get through half of the onigiri package when the sound of door being shut not so gently turned his attention to the entrance. Sure enough, based on the stomps, Shirabu was home and not in the best mood. When one thing goes wrong... Hey, welcome home. Shirabu grumbled an answer under his breath, throwing his back on the floor before he slumped on the couch with a loud groan. Good day, I see, huh? Don't talk to me. I'm not in the mood. I'm upset and don't want to take it out on you, was the unsaid message in between the lines, and Hayato had to smile. Long gone were the times Shirabu snapped at them when he came home stressed, followed by moments of guilt and profound apologies. All completely unnecessary, and since they all realized the harsh words, while not meant seriously, took a strain on their relationship, Shirabu promised to change it. Which he did, and Hayato was proud of him for that. Not that he would ever say it into Shirabu's face. The other thing, however, was that leaving Shirabu brooding for too long wasn't a good idea either. Taichi wasn't the only one in their relationship who had a tendency to overthink. Okay, let me hug you instead then. Before Shirabu opened his mouth to protest, Hayato pulled him to his chest, squishing him like one of the plushies Shirabu prized so much. He tried to push himself away, but Hayato held tight. Damn you and your strength! Let go! Why? I want to hug my boyfriend. What's so bad about it? You... Damn it, Hayato! I told you I'm not in the mood. To talk? You didn't say anything about hugs. He grabbed Shirabu's hand, gently pulling him closer to his side while he became serious again. Hey, I know you are upset at the whole world, but you are home now. Nothing from what bothered you can reach you here. Shirabu stilled, and then with a shaky sigh slumped against Hayato's chest, his fingers curling around the fabric of the libero's t-shirt. A soft whine he was surely about to deny later escaped his mouth when Hayato patted his hair, leaving a kiss on his forehead. There you go. All's good now. It's not that simple. I know. But right here, right now, this is your safe space. That will never change. The grip on his t-shirt tightened as Shirabu snuggled deeper into the embrace, the tension gathered by a whole day spent in hospital leaving his body as soon as Hayato started rubbing his back. He smiled, glad he managed to help at least one of his boyfriends with his troubles, for the time being anyway. But even that was better than nothing. They sat in silence for a long while before a quiet murmur caught Hayato's attention. You are my safe space, you know that? A surprised smile curled Hayato's lips. Are you falling asleep? Maybe. Why? You never said that before. Shirabu hummed, his eyes closed and visibly slowly snoozing away. I thought you knew. We all think that. Do you now? He only got a soft hum in answer, and then Shirabu's breathing slowed down, letting Hayato know he couldn't expect anything else to be said. But that was okay. As long as Shirabu got his dose of sleep, chances were he would wake up in a much better mood. Dinner would have to be Semi's task for that day since he didn't intend to let go of Shirabu anytime soon. But since Semi was possibly the best cook out of the four of them, he didn't complain. Now just deal with Tai somehow and everything will be fine. Despite all of Hayato's attempts, he didn't manage to have a while alone with Taichi the whole next day. The times he had seen him, during breakfast and then dinner, Taichi was even quieter than before, excusing himself as soon as his plate was empty and cleaned. It was tearing Hayato's heart apart to see his beloved like this, but he didn't want to put him on the spot when everyone was around. And so he waited for the right moment, caring less about the challenge and much more about erasing whatever weighed so heavily on Taichi's mind. Then, finally, he was home alone and just finishing his exercise when he heard a key turn in the lock. Judging by the soft footsteps, it was definitely Taichi coming home. Okay, now or never. Please work. Hey, sweetheart, welcome home. Taichi paused in the doorway, looking confused for a beat as if he didn't expect Hayato to be there, before his eyes darted aside, his telltale sign of anxiety. Hi, I didn't know you were home already. I was here the whole day today, remember? We don't have practice on Thursday. Oh, right. Sorry, I forgot what day it is. Not a good sign. Hayato suppressed the concern already making its way to his face and instead gave Taichi a smile, jumping up from the mat to open his arms in a silent invitation. When Taichi didn't react, he sighed and tugged on his hand, taking note of how cold Taichi's skin was. Come here. I didn't get to give you the hug I wanted yet. Taichi stuttered, not putting up much fight when Hayato pushed him on the couch and captured him in his arms to prevent him from running away. You still want a hug? After 2 days? Well, then. I'm always up for a hug, and I never leave debts. Definitely not the affection ones. His words didn't seem to have the desired effect. On the contrary, Taichi seemed to slump even more, his lower lip quivering as if he fought some nasty inner battle. I see. Why do you sound so surprised about it? I didn't know you included me in your debt counting. Now Hayato was completely baffled. He pulled Taichi under his chin, 1,000 questions burning on his tongue, from all of which just one prevailed after feeling his boyfriend's body trembling as if he was scared. Which Hayato wouldn't be shocked by. He just didn't know why. Dai, what's going on? You can tell me, I promise I won't judge. Is it about you being allergic to cats? That's nothing to be worried about, love. It's not a deal breaker. No, that's not the problem. I mean, I feel bad you can't have a pet because of me, but that's just one of many setbacks you have because of me. That's not true. Nothing about you is a setback. Despair clawed around his heart, his mind racing to come up with something that could have started this. Perhaps something one of them said or did. Or something at work, from his family. There had to be a starter somewhere. Please tell me what's wrong. I want to help. He was pushing his luck, risking chasing Taichi into closing himself into the firm walls he had built around himself throughout the years spent around his father. But he couldn't leave it be. Even if they had to fight about it, he had to know the answer. Taichi stayed silent for a long while, and then shook his head. Nothing is wrong. Dai, I just... Would you be mad if I looked for help from someone else? Confused, Hayato furrowed his brow but didn't pull away, feeling that keeping Taichi in the hug was more productive than anything else he could do. And so he pulled Taichi closer, leaving a kiss in his hair. No, of course not. I mean, I would be wondering what was going on that we couldn't know about, sure, but I wouldn't be mad about you getting help. He smiled, his hand instinctively finding its way to play with the soft auburn hair. Besides, I'm pretty sure I'm physically incapable of being mad at you. For any reason. You could literally ruin my career and I would still love you the same amount. Don't go testing it though, that would be sad. He hoped to lift the tension a bit, but as usual, his jokes fell flat judging by Taichi's tightening grip. With a soft sigh, Hayato continued to caress his hair, humming quiet reassurances into his ear as he gently swayed them back and forth in hopes to soothe at least some of the fear gripping Taichi's mind. As painful as waiting was in this situation, he had to be patient, especially with Taichi and his fragile heart. He saw it break one too many times already. Let's get some rest, what do you say? You had a long week. Can we stay here? Please. The broken, almost desperate undertone in Taichi's voice made Hayato's chest constrict. Of course, sweetheart. Anything you want. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. So, as always, I will continue the storyline from this. If you watched carefully, you probably know who is going to be focused on in the next few parts. But technically, the next part of this storyline is going to be a bit more Shirabu-centric, to some extent, I suppose. So it's not going to be all Taichi, no worries. Also, there's a big angst plot coming up, but that's a lot in the future. So let's not worry about it right now. Shirabu-centric stuff, Taichi-centric stuff coming up soon. If you have any requests or ideas, the request form is linked in the video description. See you next time.